And there's been a lot of talk about who's to blame for the end in New England. Now, I think that the more important world events have caused people to be less obsessed with laying blame about Brady leaving than they would have been. But from your perspective, is there someone to blame? I mean, I look at it and I say, what can you want, Patriots fans, more than 20 years and 6 Super Bowls with one guy? It ain't going to last forever. He's playing 3 years max anyway, and who knows what kind of skills he has now in comparison to what they were. But if somebody is upset, who should they be blaming, Chris?
Well, to me, you're right. I mean, first off, it's been the greatest showing we've ever seen between quarterback and head coach. So let's all just appreciate that before we start blaming, one guy or the other. And I understand that's the business we're in. I think, okay, if you're going to make me blame one guy, I'd probably put a little more blame on Bill Belichick, but I don't necessarily sit here and go, all of it goes on him. I would go like 52 Belichick, 48 Brady. I think Brady deserves some of this as well. I think Brady unrealistically is asking for, respect and wants to enjoy his job. And that's just not in the DNA of a guy like Bill Belichick. He's always the general. It doesn't matter how many Super Bowls you've won. He's always looking for the next one. So he's always coaching like that. So I think Brady some has gotten a little, I don't want to say disrespectful, be sensitive towards that to the end of his career. And then, of course, we know Belichick makes hard-line decisions to run that business. And that's where he deserves, some of the blame for this split as well.
Yeah, I think Bill Belichick ultimately didn't want Tom Brady back and was ready to rip off the Band-Aid and move on. And I think the offers that were made or weren't made to Tom Brady from last August until now, I think that he got the idea that Bill was ready to move forward. And look, from Brady's perspective, 20 years of Belichick is all he could take. And if that's the one flaw in the Patriot way, that you can't expect someone to endure into a third decade of dealing with Bill Belichick, then so be it, right? I mean, right. You get a guy who gets to the point where I can do 20 years, I can't do 21 with this guy. Okay, we can live with that.
Right. I mean, you can't have it all. It's been an amazing run. It's not always easy. I mean, hey, we've heard of this before. I mean, I don't think Joe Montana and Bill Walsh were like holding hands on their way to the practice field every day. You've heard about Magic Johnson and Pat Riley back in the day. Like, I think Magic Johnson was like, oh, Pat Riley's leaving L.A. Thank God. I mean, these practices and the way he runs things, they're brutal. So this is part of, successful relationships in sports altogether. And, yeah, I think more or not, I think the sense we've gotten is that Belichick and his coaching staff did want to move on. If they were stuck with Brady one more year or didn't do it, I don't think it would have been the end of the world. But I think they were ready for a next phase there in New England.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.